So I've done several videos talking about how Judge Aileen Cannon dismissed the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case and what that means going forward. Well, Jack Smith hasn't filed a notice to appeal, and he's going to appeal this decision. Whether he appeals it straight to the 11th Circuit or he skips the 11th Circuit and goes straight to the U.S. Supreme Court, we will see. But there are some other options that they could do. Now, when Judge Cannon dismissed the case, she said it had nothing to do with whether or not they had proven their case or whether or not she thought it was a baseless case or anything like that or anything on Donald Trump's criminality in this case. So, what are some of the other options? Well, the DOJ could just refile the charges and leave Jack Smith's name off of them. That could potentially be an option, and they just bring the case without Jack Smith being a part of it, and that eliminates this conflict. Case resumes, and there's a chance it gets pulled in front of a different judge. Okay, that's one option. They could move the case to Washington, D.C., file it there, but they filed it in Florida because they assumed they should be filed in Florida because the documents were stored at Mar-a-Lago, and they were basing most of their charges around the storage and the failure to return the documents rather than the fact they were taken out of Washington, D.C., but they could file it in D.C. as well. Those are two other options they have. Now, something else to consider is would this affect the D.C. case now that she has said Jack Smith is unconstitutionally appointed? Probably not. Judge Tanya Chutkan has already ruled on this, but if Donald Trump were to try to push this issue based on Aileen Cannon's ruling, whatever the outcome, one side or the other would appeal that to, I believe it's the first district. And now you'd have two different appeals courts looking at it. And depending on how the appeals court rules on it in both cases, I assume the 11th Circuit will toss this out. And in the First Circuit, the First Circuit Court would probably also say he was constitutionally appointed and toss it out. When they both agree, the U.S. Supreme Court probably wouldn't even look at it. But if they disagree, that's when the Supreme Court would take it and almost guarantee they would have to take it. So I don't think Donald Trump is going to risk it going into Tanya Chutkan's case, the case involving the January 6th. However, I could also see him trying it and telling his attorneys that he knows better because he thinks that he got this small victory down there. Now he's untouchable. So we'll see what happens. Jack Smith and the DOJ have other options besides just sitting back and taking this and waiting on an appeal. So we'll see which route they go. But all things considered, this was not a big win for Donald Trump, despite what Republicans and Donald Trump himself would tell you.